Ikaw ang pamulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawag kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nga mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawag kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Yes, good morning. Magandang umaga. Gandang umaga pa rin sa inyong lahat dyan. Kumusta kayo? Sana'y nasa mabuti kayo kalagayan. Sana'y okay kayo dyan. Sana'y hindi kayo basta-basta matatakot sana. Huwag kayo matakot. Ganun talaga. DG Someone Tay, hello. Kumusta? DG Someone daw, DG Someone. Ayan.
Sa magnanakaw na tao.
Ano lang. Wag masyadong ano ba tawag nito, mag-panic ika nga. Kasi sa lagayan ng lagi ko sinasabi, pag tayo po'y natataranta, ay digitatay, kinig ako saglit habang nasa work. Gawin kitang radyo. Sige, salamat. Tamsak dan daw. Ayan. Bago lahat, hello Andres Bonifacio. Hi to Maria Teresa. Hi to Ronnie Caliantis Diolazo. Kumusta dyan sa yung kinalalagyan? Hi to Sir Ramon and Jeannie Navarro. Good morning. Magandang umaga, magandang gabi, magandang tanghali, magandang hapon. Saan ka man naroon ngayon? Huwag masyadong Huwag masyado talaga. Relax lang, relax. Relax lang.
tunay
Ang ngayong buhato.
ako.
Ay, palabi. Pagka kasi nataranta ka na, wala na. At kung ano man yung pinag-uutos ng gobyerno ay sundin na natin. Huwag na tayo matigas ang ulo.
Amen.
Dahil sa update pala ngayon, 187 na po yung confirm na infected sa Pilipinas. 187 na. Mostly nito nasa Metro Manila.
Tayo na, Pilipinas.
Kung hindi ito gagawin ng presidente, ang pag-lockdown ng Metro Manila o community sabihin na natin, community quarantine. Ayaw kasi nila ng lockdown eh. Gusto nila Pero ang mga butiki nasa Pilipinas, nasa Metro Manila pa ba itong mga to?
Ayong lahat.
Oy, biruin mo itong pang 187 na biktima, age 28 lang. 28 lang.
Para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Tapos yung victim 186, 28 years old lang din. Puro babae pala to.
Tayong lahat.
Yung pang 85, 48 years old. Yan, local na po to. Local transmission na po ito mga kaibigan. Lockdown din po ngayon ditong mabuti. Naman ako dito, bahay lang kami. Madami ko takot maglabas. Ayan, mas maganda yan. Stay at home lang muna, Ray. Tapos don't forget to share pala dito. I-share ninyo. Paki-share naman, paki-share. Kasi magkano tayo ngayon? Tawag dito. Bibigay tayo ng dapat pag nagbigay ng tamang impormasyon, hindi yung basta kinoko. Basta lang magpakalat eh. Basta gusto lang talagang gusto lang mag-viral. Poros lang, viral. Until now, viral pa rin ang iniisip. Wala, hindi nag-iisip kung anong magiging epekto sa kanilang mga gagawin or mga sinishare. Puro pa rin mag-viral o puro pa rin gusto basta makapag-share lang. Hindi iniisip muna kung gaano katotoo itong mga nakita nila. Kaya ayun, ang daming na saging. Ang daming na saging. Dahil ang saging daw ay saging daw. Saging. Sabi ko nga sa inyo. Huwag basta-basta maniwala. Kasi hanggat din nilabas yan ng sabihin na natin, WHO ang naglabas. Sabihin na natin. Para kayo kasi ang source ninyo hindi WHO eh. Dapat WHO. Doon kayo doon kayo tawag dito, doon kayo magkuha ng inyong mga impormasyon. 'Di ba? Nandiyan naman sa Facebook 'yan. Saka sinishare din namin 'yan. Hi to Ellen. Oy, hi Ellen. Alan. Sinishare din namin yung mga ng WHO. Wala eh. Mas ginugusto niyang manood doon sa mga kung ano-ano eh. Or magbasa sa mga kung ano-ano. Wala namang kakwenta-kwentang kwenta-kwentang Ay, nako, Diyos ko, Lord.
Dapat nga mapiti.
Ayan. Biglaan pa, grabe. Biglang dumami. Ay, ito, Del Between. Ay, ito, tulog na dong.
Tayo na.
Pasyar dong, pasyar.
Kamay tayo.
Biruin mo, ang ngayon, patient under investigation, nasa 259 na. Patient under investigation na, yung PUI. So, dadami pa to. Yung PUM, yung person
para sa
under monitoring is 2,443. So, Ginoo ko.
I am here because I love my
Ang naka-recover, 4 pa lang ha.
ikaw.
14 na po ang confirmed na patay.
Lahat kayo
Ang na-test pa lang is 1,030 pa lang mga kaibigan. Sus, Diyos ko Lord.
para sa
Ano ba yan, bayan?
pagbabago.
And speaking of coronavirus, dito sa amin sa Quebec, province of Quebec, meron na pa kaming total numbered case 50 na po. At may siyam po yung confirmed case as of March 16. Kahapon pa po to, 2 p.m. Diba? So, Ginoo ko. Pero, to Journal. Hello po, magandang gabi po. Pero yung iba talaga, wala pa. Hi to Mimi. Hi to, my sister, kamusta dyan? Maya, hi kuya, dumami na rin ng affected sa Egypt. Oo nga eh. All over the,
Nanakaw.
all over the world na talaga ang itong coronavirus na to. According dito sa, sa aking source sa WHO talaga, ang confirmed na patay. Yun nga, patay around the globe. 7,090 na po. At po ang confirmed na cases is 173,344 within the 148 48 countries, areas and territories po mga kaibigan.
Bago. Hawag kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Hi, Miss Helen Gloria. Kumusta? Good morning. Magandang... Oy, wala ka ba ipasok? Sa bahay lang ba kayo? O kung pwedeng, pwedeng magstay na lang sa bahay, magstay na lang muna. If ever. Tagal lang. Oo. Ang sikreto diyan, Elaine, harang, wag mag-thumbs up muna bago bago panoorin ang harang. Joke. Oo. Alam mo dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, sa atin sa Pilipinas, mas marami talaga sa Metro Manila ang mga yung naapektuhan kasi ang Metro Manila kasi ang pinakasentro, kumbaga doon papasok lahat ng mga ang mga galing ibang bansa. So expected na yan na nandyan ang marami na andyan ang maraming magiging apektado sa virus na ito, mga kapatid. Kagaya ng Toronto, Vancouver, maaring sa Montreal, ganun din.
Para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Kaya atin na pong sundin kung ano man yung pinag-uutos ng gobyerno. Huwag na po tayong matigas ang ulo. Kasi yung iba talaga, tigas ng ulo talaga. Nakikipag hi to Criselda, hi to Emerald. Nakikipagtalo pa sa polis. Sinabi na ngang biruin mo, isasakripisyo mo ang buhay mo at buhay ng pamilya mo. Kasi takot ka na walang makain. Takot ka na hindi ka kumita ng pera.
Sa magnanakaw na tao,
Although, kailangan naman talaga na magtrabaho. Pero kung nasa bingit ng alanganin or ng hindi maganda, wag na. Wag nang ipilit pa. Kasi pag ipipilit mo pa talaga yan, baka dumugo pa at ano pa mangyari. So, kung anong order is wag nang kung maari, hanggat maari, kung hindi naman talagang life and death ang yung lakad, wag nang lumaya sa bahay. Umistili ka na lang diyan, ha? Ayan. O baka may gusto diyang magbigay ng kanilang report kung saan sila ngayon. Maaari po kayong tumawag dito sa amin. Maaari po kayong pumasok sa aming live streaming kung gusto nyo. Bigyan namin kayo ng hagdanan para makaakyat dito sa aming live streaming, mga kaibigan. Sa mga gusto lang, o yung mga taga Germany. Kumusta dyan sa Germany, Criselda? Anong balita dyan sa Germany?
Mga krimen.
O baka may mga gustong gustong magbahagi kung kumusta ang kanilang sitwasyon dyan sa inyong kinalalagyan, kung saan man kayo naroroon, anong mga nauobserbahan ninyo. Kasi ang dami na namang mga video na nagkalat ngayon, mga kaibigan. Yung isa doon sa Italy. Meron ako na-receive na video dito sa Italy ito. Kawawa naman yung tao. But mostly talaga na naapektuhan or tinamaan itong corona na to ay
tayong lahat kay Rodrigo.
Mga medyo, yun na nga sinasabi, may edad na.
Tunay na pagbabago.
Kaya siguro ay nag-snow pala ngayon. Ang aming weather pala ngayon dito sa Montreal is 1 degree minus 4. Rain and snow mix. Okay. Kadanlog ba di ay? Madulas-dulas pala ngayon kasi rain and snow.
Babago.
Kayo ba'y okay lang dyan? Okay lang sa inyong kinalalagyan? Baka naman. Tiray, kumusta Tiray? Duty ka ba ka Tiray? Nasa duty pa rin ba? Nasa duty? Oo, kung pwede lang, wag na mo nang lumabas, Kahit wala ka namang nararamdaman, sabihin, wala naman ako nararamdaman. Di ba? Okay naman ako. Minsan, pag sinasabi mong okay ka doon ka madidisgrasya dahil okay. Buti pa sabihin mo, hindi ako okay. Ako stay bahay, Ako hindi labas. Kami dito, meron lang kaming dito, meron kami ditong pwede hanggang siguro pwede mag-survive kahit 1 week or 2 weeks, depende. Depende sa sa consumption. Ay, nako. At magre-report yata si Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sa sitwasyon ngayon. Mamaya-maya yun, mga 11:30. Abangan natin, mga kaibigan, atin pong ipa-flash dito si Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Magbibigay ng
tayong lahat kay Rodrigo.
Magbibigay ng ng update, mga kaibigan.
Pagbabago.
Pagka-update. Yan. Ang task force, Corona Task Force sa US pala, magkaroon din sila ng briefing. Maya-maya lang din. Ito, naka-ready na rin ito.
krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan dapat nga mapigilan.
Notification. Sino na mag-notify? Anong notification ba ito meron dito?
Bago hawak kamay tayo para
Ayun, ang ano pala.
nasenso
Live pala ngayon ang
ikaw
ayun,
ako
press briefing
tayong lahat kayo
ng ano,
Duterte
Interagency Task Force for Management of the Crisis. Tingnan natin ha.
Here because I
Pakinggan natin
love,
kung ano yung mga ano.
love the people of the Philippines.
ikaw at ako tayong lahat kayo Rico Duterte para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Muli, ipagpaumanhin po ninyo. Ngayon, ito po ang produkto ng kayod ng inyong Interagency Task Force. The following are the operational guidelines approved by the Interagency Task Force in affirmation of the memorandum from the Executive Secretary concerning the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine over the entirety of Luzon. Number 1, all government agencies in the executive branch are hereby directed to issue accreditation orders to identify their respective skeletal workforces for critical services operating during the duration of the enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. Bona fide IDs issued by the respective agencies shall be sufficient for movement around the contained area until such time that such accreditation orders have been issued by the agency concerned. Skeletal workforces may use official agency vehicles. Number 2, agencies with jurisdiction over those exempted from strict home quarantine requirements are likewise tasked to issue official interagency task force accreditation IDs. The Presidential Communications Operations Office, or PCOO, shall be tasked to design the official seal and template of the IATF accreditation IDs issued by government. The period for the issuance of IATF accreditation IDs shall be until March 21, 2020. Bona fide IDs issued by establishments exempted from strict home quarantine requirements shall be honored by law enforcement agencies until March 21, 2020. Number 3, the following among others shall be considered health and emergency frontline workers. Letter A, public health workers, meaning all employees of the Department of Health, DOH hospitals, hospitals of local government units, and provincial, city, and rural health units. Letter B, private health workers, such as but not limited to medical professionals, hospital administrative staff, and aides from private health facilities, as well as their service providers. And letter C, health workers and volunteers of the Philippine Red Cross and the World Health Organization. The Department of Transportation, in cooperation with local government units and upon consultation with the Department of Health, shall develop a system of point-to-point transport services for all the aforementioned health workers. Number 4, The Philippine National Police is instructed to allow the unimpeded movement of all types of cargoes, subject to its authority to conduct inspection procedures in checkpoints for the purpose of ensuring that protocols on strict home quarantine are observed. For this purpose, Memorandum Circular Number 7 issued on March 17, 2020 by the Department of Agriculture is hereby adopted. Number 5, capital markets, including but not limited to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Securities and Exchange Commission, Philippine Stock Exchange, Philippine Dealing and Exchange Corporation, Philippine Securities Settlement Corporation, and Philippine Depository and Trust Corporation shall be allowed to operate effective March 18, 2020, subject to the qualification of establishing skeletal workforces in their respective establishments. Number 6, the Department of Labor and Employment is hereby authorized to accredit a skeletal staff for the purpose of facilitating the conduct of the Tulong Panghanapbuhay sa Ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers or TUPAD program. Number 7, the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration shall provide transportation services for returning overseas Filipino workers or OFWs for the purpose of ferrying them from international ports to their respective destinations in Luzon. Number 8, a separate IATF technical working group composed of the Department of Social Welfare and Development acting as chair, Department of Budget and Management, Department of Finance, Department of Labor and Employment, and the Office of the President is hereby directed to meet for the purpose of operationalizing the social amelioration program of government. Number 9, the provisional period of 72 hours granted to media personnel to continue operating in Luzon is hereby extended until March 21, 2020. Thereafter, only those who bear the IATF accreditation ID as issued by the PCOO may be exempted from the strict home quarantine requirement. Number 10, business process outsourcing or BPO establishments and export-oriented businesses are hereby granted a period of 24 hours from the issuance of this resolution to facilitate their work-from-home arrangements. And 11, delivery services, whether in-house or outsourced, transporting food, medicine, or other basic necessities shall be allowed to operate during the period of enhanced community quarantine. Letter B, the following amendments and or modifications. Letter B, Number 1, OFWs, balikbayans, and foreign nationals leaving for abroad through any of the ports in Luzon shall be allowed to leave the Philippines at any time for the duration of the enhanced community quarantine, provided that proof of international travel itinerary scheduled within 24 hours must be presented. Provided further that non-essential travel by Filipinos from any port of Luzon shall be suspended. Provided further that this provision shall not be interpreted to allow outbound travel by Filipinos to jurisdictions where travel restrictions are in place. Provided further that departing passengers may only be accompanied by not more than one person when traveling to any international port. Provided further that OWA may provide transportation services to OFWs intending to leave for abroad. Provided finally that all of the foregoing shall be subject to joint guidelines to be issued by the Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Labor and Employment, and the Department of Tourism. Number 2, Heads of missions or their designated foreign mission representatives, including limited foreign mission personnel and staff, may be exempted from the strict home quarantine requirement whenever performing diplomatic functions, subject to guidelines to be issued by the Department of Foreign Affairs, provided that protocols on the establishment of skeletal workforces shall be observed. Number 3, no hotels or similar establishments shall be allowed to operate except those accommodating A, guests who have existing booking accommodations for foreigners as of March 17, 2020. B, guests who have existing long-term leases. And C, employees from exempted establishments under the provisions of the March 16, 2020 Memorandum from the Executive Secretary and subsequent modifications and clarifications, provided that in subparagraphs 3A and 3B, no new booking accommodations shall be permitted. Provided further that in all of the foregoing, hotel operations shall be limited to the provision of basic lodging to guests. And number 4, Philippine offshore gaming operators shall not be included among those establishments allowed to operate for the duration of the enhanced community quarantine. Letter C, the Metro Manila Development Authority and the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process shall be considered ex officio members of the IATF. Letter D, the response clusters of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council for COVID-19 at the national, regional, and local levels shall be convened. All councils are directed to implement preventive, preparatory, responsive, and early recovery measures in anticipation of the worst-case scenario insofar as the COVID-19 health event is concerned. The Rehabilitation and Recovery Cluster of the NDRRMC is likewise directed to develop a resiliency and recovery plan. And finally, the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases in the Philippines shall establish and operate an Emergency Operations Center at the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council's Operations Center at Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Capsec.
Pagbabago.
Ayan mga kaibigan, yan po yung bagong
Bayan ko.
kautusan na in-enhance nila mga kaibigan. At maya-maya ng konti din ang ating Prime Minister dito sa Canada magsasalita din. So yung mga guidelines na yun dapat sundin. Hindi yun basta-basta na lang may mga magrereklamo na naman. Oo, sigurado. Maya-maya may magre-react na naman para may masabi lang. Mima lang, mima. Para mema lang talaga, mema sabi lang maya-maya ng konti po mga kaibigan ng Prime Minister ng Canada ay magsasalita. Actually naka-ready na naman sila doon sa Susic Drive mga kaibigan. Talaga naman Ayan pwede pong mag-travel yung mga foreigner palabas ng bansa. Oo. Basta within 24 hours ipakita lang po yung itinerary nila. Oo, na talagang kung saan sila pupunta. Kaya yung mga ewan ko yung iba nakauli na ba? Basta tumawag kayo sa inyong mga embassy. Halimbawa, kung Canadian ka, tumawag ka sa Canadian Embassy para mag-coordinate. Malay natin, meron na palang merong mga chartered flight pabalik sa Canada.
Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na.
Kung inaakala ninyo sa Pilipinas lang po, marami matigas ang ulo, dito din po sa Canada, ang dami din. Oo.
Para sa
Kung sino yung mga matigas ang ulo, nako, hindi ko napapangalanan. Oo, wag na.
ikaw,
Hayaan na lang natin.
tayong lahat.
Kasi pagka tigas-tigas kayo ulo, kayo din. Mm-mm. Basta ang importante mga kaibigan
Para sa
ay
tunay na
maging ligtas po tayo
I hear.
at malayo sa kapahamakan. Ay to Miss Estela Tablas, Miss Belma Ligtas de Lara, ay to Miss Janet Albiso, hi to Felda Palulan, hi to Jolie, oh, hi to Ging Buray, hi to Gerard Gomez, and to Vince Lianto. Oh, mamaya ayan na po yung ano. Iyan po yung ano doon. Ayan, inaabangan natin si Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, mga kaibigan. Magsasalita din. Magbibigay din ng updates. Ay to Miss Lizelle Pama. Kumusta kayo dyan? Condolence nga pala sa inyo.
madilim.
Again, ang oras po natin mga kaibigan, alas 11:36 na po ng umaga dito sa Montreal, Quebec, Canada. At kayo nakikinig pa rin at nanonood dito sa aming live broadcast.
Sa piling mo,
Live po kami.
di ko
Hanggat may internet, live po kami. Oo. At sabi ko nga, lagi ang ano ko naman, ang dahilan ko kung bakit po ako laging nagla-live para naman ay mag-guide natin yung iba nating mga kababayan.
para sa pagkasenso.
Mag-guide natin sila na
Ikaw at ako, tayo
mga dapat talaga na gagawin. Hindi yung basta na lang. Yung iba kasi sa sobrang tigas ng ulo
ako.
ay iniisip nila na invincible sila. Hi Andres, kumusta Andres? Oo. Parang hindi sila tatablan ng
Masdan mo ang
hindi sila tatablan ng ano ba to? Ng corona.
mga krimen. Rape, droga at mga nakawan. Dapat nga mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas. Tayo na nagbago. Hawag kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw
Ano kayang
yung
development ngayon na
lari ko.
ipapahayag ng Prime Minister ng Canada? Ipagbabawal na kaya niya ngayon yung
Tunay na
yung
I am here because I
pagpasok dito sa Canada sa kahit sino.
pagkaw.
Kasi ngayon bawal pumasok ang non-Canadian citizen and non-resident except the US, mga kaibigan.
Tunay na
Kaya baka lahat na to. Wala na talagang pwedeng pumasok maliban doon sa mga nagdadala ng mga goods, mga kaibigan. Of course, kailangan din po yun. Hindi po pwedeng hindi magdala ng pagkain, mga kaibigan. Ano kakainin natin dito sa Canada? dito sa Montreal, mga kaibigan, kung hindi na pagbibigyan. O high daw sa key 19. Ikaw talaga, Andres. Andres, kamusta dyan sa inyo? Anong balita dyan?
Pagbabago
Baka pwede ka magbigay ng pwede kayo magbigay ng situation dyan sa
magnanakaw
Yung COVID-19 ay sugal palayan, dalawa pagpipilian, buhay ka o sunog ka?
madaling
Buhay o sunog?
hapon
O susunugin ka nga diretso, no? Hindi na i-cremate ka talaga kasi kung infected ka sa virus, para kasama yung virus. Kawawang virus na yan. Joke.
wawalaan puro
Yung virus na yan, pag hindi umalis, nako, patay ka. Sige ka. Kung ako sa'yo, tumigil ka na.
tayo na Pilipinas
Tumigil ka na, virus.
magbago.
Eto na.
The banks, no, on how they will continue to operate. Pero
and the healthcare across the country. National coordination and local action that makes sense for the circumstances on the ground. And I want you to know, Canada is here for you, in Ontario and in all parts of the country. On that note, I want to recognize all of the people on the front lines of our healthcare system. Whether you're a doctor or a nurse, a hospital administrator or maintenance staff, you are doing an incredible job. I know that all Canadians are grateful. I also want to thank all of the retired healthcare workers who are putting up their hand and coming back to help take care of Canadians. But let's do more than just say thank you to our healthcare workers. Let's also do what we can to lighten their load. In her update on Monday, Dr. Tam was clear about what we should and shouldn't be doing. Do wash your hands often. Do sneeze into your elbow. And don't gather in groups of more than 50 people. These measures, and especially social distancing, are how we can ease the burden on our doctors and nurses so they can focus on our fellow Canadians who need it most. This is an especially important day on St. Patrick's Day. Lots of you probably had parties planned or were going to head out with friends. Now is the time to find another way to celebrate and to do that at home. I know people would probably prefer to just carry on as normal. I would too. But we all must take all action through social distancing to protect our health and the health of others. Nos médecins et nos infirmières ont besoin de votre aide. Vos voisins ont besoin de votre aide. Les gens les plus vulnérables dans vos communautés ont besoin de votre aide. Autant que possible, restez chez vous. Sortez seulement si vous devez absolument sortir. Travaillez à distance.
Work from home.
Laissez les enfants courir dans la maison.
Let the kids run about the house.
Doctors and nurses need your help. Your neighbors need your help. Vulnerable people in the community need your help. As much as possible, stay home. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to. Work remotely if you can. Let the kids run around a bit in the house. Things will get better. As the situation with COVID-19 continues to grow, our government will keep taking action too. For example, one of the things we're doing to flatten the curve is that as of Wednesday, Parks Canada is suspending visitor services at all national parks and historic sites. What this means for our parks is that pretty much anything with a door will be closed. La situation concernant la COVID-19 évolue et la réponse de notre gouvernement évolue aussi. Par exemple, Parcs Canada suspend ses services aux visiteurs à tous les parcs nationaux et les sites patrimoniaux à compter de mercredi. C'est une autre façon de veiller à la santé de nos proches. Pour ce qui est des voyages, on a annoncé des nouvelles mesures hier. Affaires mondiales Canada a notamment mis sur pied un programme.
Oops, nawala ang ano? Nawala ang signal. Bakit kaya? Ayan, naputol ako. Naputol po mga kaibigan ang aking live ano. Teka ha, saglit. Bakit kaya? Yun. Bakit kaya naputol ako?
À la santé de nos proches. Pour ce qui est des voyages, on a annoncé des nouvelles mesures hier. Affaires mondiales Canada a notamment mis sur pied un programme.
Ako, napuputol talaga. Siguro nga ayaw. Eto.
It will help people who need immediate financial assistance return home or cover their needs if they have to wait to get back. Canadians abroad in need of emergency assistance can always call 1-613-996-8885 or email sos@international.gc.ca. This comes as we announce that we are closing our air borders to people who aren't Canadian citizens or permanent residents, with some exceptions like for aircrew and U.S. citizens. Earlier today, the Special Cabinet Committee on COVID-19 met once again to discuss our response. And full Cabinet will have a meeting this afternoon. We are hard at work to create the right support package for Canadians while protecting people's jobs and our economy. And tomorrow, we will be making another major announcement on economic actions to support Canadians as quickly as possible. By the end of the week, we will have more to say about changes for the upcoming tax season. We're looking at giving more flexibility for people to make payments and for businesses to have more liquidity during this time. Throughout this, we're working together right across the country. I have directed the House Leader to engage with his counterparts to discuss a brief return of the House of Commons so that we can bring in emergency economic measures. There are economic pieces that will need quick passage through the House in order to support Canadians. We are also examining the Emergency Measures Act to see if it is necessary or if there are other ways that will enable us to take the actions needed to protect people. Coordination at all levels and between all parties is vital. I have asked the Chair and Vice Chair of the Cabinet COVID Committee, Ministers Freeland and Duclos, to ensure that there are regularized briefings for premiers, leaders of the opposition, and other stakeholders for the foreseeable future. And yesterday, our regular calls with all parliamentarians began, which the Public Health Agency of Canada is moderating. Right now, we must all work together. The bottom line is this: each one of us can make choices that help the people around us. In fact, we can make choices that will save lives. If we act now, even if it seems like a big ask, things will be better tomorrow. Thanks to our outstanding public health professionals, we have the information we need to make informed choices. So if you can, send an email or pick up the phone instead of meeting in person. Order takeout instead of going out to dinner. And try to support your neighbors and friends if they're worried or need help. Canada, let's work together. I know we can do this. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.
Sir, you mentioned just now that you're thinking of
Yes, mga kaibigan. May question and answer pa ba?
before Parliament rose, they gave you a financial act that allows you to spend whatever you need to spend on this. What sort of measures might you need to take that you don't already have?
Actually, those are two separate things. We're talking about recalling Parliament briefly to pass legislative measures that will allow us to do things around EI, to do things around a number of methods to get money into the pockets of Canadians. We are also separately looking at the Emergency Measures Act to see if there are tools that they offer us that allow us to do more things that are needed for Canadians that can't be done other ways. Nous regardons la possibilité de ramener le Parlement pour passer des mesures législatives pour pouvoir livrer de l'aide directement aux citoyens. On a une capacité d'investir tout de suite pour aider les Canadiens, mais il y a des mesures législatives qui vont avoir besoin de l'accord des parlementaires pour pouvoir avancer, et c'est sur cela qu'on travaille avec les citoyens.
Monsieur Trudeau, Mélanie Marquis de la presse, le nombre de cas aux États-Unis est en augmentation constante. Il y a des foyers importants dans l'État de Washington, dans l'État de New York. Qu'est-ce que vous attendez?
Ayan mga kaibigan, pasensya na. Kasi medyo they're speaking French and maybe some other people won't understand it. Ayan. Thank you so much. Ayan, narinig naman natin yung update mula sa Prime Minister ng Canada. At this time nga mayroon din press conference sa sa States. Kasama si President Donald Trump, mga kaibigan. Mayroon din silang mga announcement. Yun na nga. Doon pa rin pinagbabawal nga ang pumasok ang non-Canadian residents and citizen except US citizen. At yung mga crew sa sa himpapawid na mga, lalo na yung mga magde-deliver ng mga goods or mga pangangailangan dito sa Canada. Yung mga drivers, truck drivers, pwede pa rin pumasok within Canada. Ay, Yumi. Ito pala si Jeng. Hi Jeng, kamusta dyan sa Korea? Anong balita dyan? Baka naman pwede kayo mag-update dyan sa Korea. Ano bang balita na nangyayari ngayon sa Korea, ha? Ano bang, kumusta kayo dyan? Kumusta? Kumusta ba sa Korea? Kasi sa dito, sa tala dito talagang marami din pala ang sa Korea. Ganun pa rin. Naka-lockdown ba ang Korea ngayon? South Korea? Naka-lockdown ba? Checkpoint lang. Yeah, ingat-ingat po tayo mga kababayan kung saan man tayo ngayon. Saan man tayo naroroon, mag-ingat-ingat lang. Doble ingat, ika nga. Ganito po ang inyong DJ na CU dito pa rin sa Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal, ang tahanan ng OPM, Original Filipino Music. Hindi naman po tayo broadcast ng mahaba mga kaibigan. Broadcast na tayo mga 1 hour para naman mga tao huwag maumay sa puro balita na update lang po ang atin, yun lang po. Wala po tayo ibang gagawin dito kundi mag-update. Ano hinahanap po? Restrict movement, huwag maglabas-labas at ready, cut down. O huwag lumabas-labas daw. Huwag na ngang mag-tantan or Tardisilia. Hello. Basta importante mga kaibigan, kung anong payo ng gobyerno, dyan na lang muna kayo. Huwag na kayong lumayas muna. Ayan, may ginagawa naman ng gobyerno para kahit papano tayo po medyo hindi naman talagang totally na matakot, lalo na yung iba talaga ang kinatatakutan yung pagkain, yung bills. So may mga measure na po na gagawin ng gobyerno para ito po medyo maano tayo. Kaya wag na munang mabahala. napanood mo yung airport. Chaotic. Yaw na nga eh. Yun nga, isa sa gusto kong puntahan ngayon. Pupuntahan ko kung ano yung sitwasyon sa airport dito sa dito sa Montreal. Susubukan ko. So, pero kailangan kong pag lumabas ako, mag-mask na po ako. Para sakasakali. Wag na. Baka hindi natin alam eh. Kasi may mga tao talagang mga ibang tawag na maghasik ng lagim. Hindi natin alam kung sino yung mga katabi mo. At bigla ka na lang bigla ka na lang alam mo na. Di ba? Kaya much better talaga na ingat. Ingat kung halimbawa lalabas, mag-ingat, magmasid-masid. Huwag basta-basta Kasi hindi mo sigurado kung sino yung lalapit sa iyo eh. Oo. Medyo keep distance talaga. Kung pwede lang. Mga 500 meters distance. Para sigurado. Para safe na safe ba? Talaga mga kapatid ha? At kung maaari lang talaga, wag na kayo lumabas ng bahay kung hindi naman importante yung lalabasan ninyo. Kung hindi naman talaga between life and death yung paglabas ninyo sa bahay ninyo, wag na kayo lumabas. Stay at home na lang muna kayo, ha? Stay at home. Paggawa ng sabaw. At kung pwede, matulog na lang. Sigurado nito. Sabi nga, pagkatapos itong crisis na to, maraming mabubuo. Nako, dadami na naman tayo sa mundo. Maging productive naman. Huwag yung masyadong additional na productive in another way. Madami na pwedeng gawin habang nasa bahay, maglaro sa sarili. Paglaro talaga sa sarili. Anyway, ito Jarmine Joy. Kamusta dyan sa Toronto? Oo, ano balita dyan sa Toronto? Si Maria Cristina Mercado. Kamusta, Maria? Ayan, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung mga press con, mga kaibigan. Ang sa US, ito pa rin. Tuloy pa rin yung nila. Press conference nila. Si Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ay pa rin ng mga katanungan at kasagutan. Sumasagot sa mga ito nga pinag-uusapan dito. Lagay natin saglit, ha? Hello, DG. Kumusta? Diyan sa Montreal. Okay lang kami dito. Ayos lang kami sa Montreal. Kayo dyan sa Toronto. Kumusta? Ayan, tingnan natin kung ano itong mga sinasabi dito.
We'll tell you what we've heard from many people, and the president has said we can consider this. The payroll tax holiday would get people money over the next 6 to 8 months. We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately. And what we've heard from hardworking Americans, many companies have now shut down, whether it's bars or restaurants. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now, in the next 2 weeks.
How much?
I will be previewing that with the Republicans. There's some numbers out there. They may be a little bit bigger than what's in the press.
Go ahead, please. Please, wait, please.
What help are you going to give to airlines specifically?
I've had discussions with all the airline CEOs this week. The airline CEOs have had conversations with the Senate and the House. As the president said, I was up with a subset of the Republican senators last night. I've discussed that with them. I think, as you know, this is worse than 9/11. For the airline industry, this is they are almost ground to a halt. The president wants to make sure that although We don't want people to travel unless it's critical. We want to maintain for critical travel the right to have domestic travel.
$60 million, is that
I'm not going to comment on the specifics. I will tell you we're very focused. There's a lot of workers. This is strategically important to us, and we'll be working with Congress on this.
The airline industry will be in good shape. Yeah, go ahead, please.
There's been talk about $1,000 checks to every American, increasing support among Republicans and some Democrats for that. Would you support that going to everyone, or would you support some sort of income restriction on who gets a check?
Well, I think it's clear we don't need to send people who make $1 million a year checks. Okay. But that's one of the ideas we like. We're going to preview that today, and then we'll be talking about details afterwards.
Well, I think we're going to do something that gets money to them as quickly as possible. That may not be an accurate way of doing it, because obviously some people shouldn't be getting checks for $1,000. And we'll have a pretty good idea by the end of the day what we're going to be doing.
Mr. Secretary,
Yeah, John, please.
Can you tell, how would the mechanics of this work? I mean, we've been talking about a payroll tax holiday, some $500 billion worth was floated to me today. So how would this idea of sending people to check work? Would that be sort of an advance on what they would pay in payroll tax?
Again, we want to make sure Americans get money in their pockets quickly. We want to make sure small business owners have access to funds. We want to make sure that hotels, airlines, we have an entire package. We'll be laying out those details later today.
Yeah, I have to say this. There are 4 different ways you can do it. That's okay. 4, you can hear me well enough, I imagine.
Sorry.
Okay. People at home, you're right. Those are very important people. Come to think of it, especially you people. Look, we have 4 or 5 ways we can do it. 4 ways in particular. I think there's a 5th possibility, but there are some very good ways of getting the money out and getting it out quickly. Payroll tax is one way, but it does come over a period of months, many months, and we want to do something much faster than that. So I think we have ways of getting money out pretty quickly and very accurately. Okay.
Can you talk about the timeline, please? How quickly do you think you can get this done?
The president has instructed me we have to do this now. So this is now.
By the end of the week?
We are going to work with the Senate, who's in session right now, actively. We will continue to have conversations with the House. I've already spoken to Speaker Pelosi once today. This is stuff that needs to be done now. The president has instructed me that this is no fault to American workers. For medical reasons, we are shutting down parts of this economy, and we're going to use all the tools we have, as I've said, and what tools we don't have, we're going back to Congress. I got to go back to
$50 billion to those who might be concerned that's too expensive.
We don't want to talk about it, but it's a substantial number. We're going big. The expression, we could do it 2 ways. We could keep going back every day or every week. We're going big, and that's where Mitch McConnell, that's the way he wants to go. That's the way I want to go. I think we want to get it done and have a big infusion as opposed to going through little meetings every couple of days. We don't want to do it that way. We want to go big, go solid. The country is very strong. We've never been so strong, and that's what we're going to be doing. We don't want, with this invisible enemy, we don't want airlines going out of business. We don't want people losing their jobs or not having money to live when they were doing very well just 4 weeks ago. So we're going big, and that's the way it'll be, and that's the way everybody seems to like it on the Hill. Any other questions for Steve?
In addition to airlines and hotels, you had a call with restaurants today. Was any type of emergency assistance discussed on that call? A lot of restaurants have to close. Even if they are doing delivery, they're not making as much money as they would with a full house.
Well, let me make 2 comments on the restaurants, and the president understands this. This was emphasized this morning. First of all, we want to make sure that the states allow the drive-through portion of these fast foods to stay open, particularly in a time period where we're telling people don't go to restaurants. These companies feed a big part of America, and I expect they're going to feed a bigger part of America. The second thing they asked me to emphasize, I wasn't going to do it now, but as long as you asked, many of these companies have apps. You can order ahead of time. That way, when you get there, it's as simple as they'll have it packed. They can give it to you with social distancing, and it'll be very fast. So we expect that they will be able to feed a large part of the population. And in regards to support, I will say a lot of these businesses are small businesses, are companies, franchisees, 500 or less, and we have a specific program we'll be unveiling that helps all businesses, small and medium-sized businesses of 500 and less.
Secretary, also a question regarding Marriott Corporation. It announced that it is furloughing thousands of individuals because of the impacts of the coronavirus. Will your legislation help those individuals?
I hope so. That's one of the reasons why we got to act very quickly, because we understand whether it's the airlines, hotels, for good reasons to protect the United States on medical issues. These businesses are shut down, and the president wants to make sure, as I've said, we will use all the powers we have. You saw this today, $1 trillion of potential liquidity into the market, and the powers we don't have, we're going to Congress. And I will say there's a lot of bipartisan support for these issues. So I'm going to apologize because I have to go deal with some other things, if that's okay, Mr. President.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, I do want to comment on this, okay? We absolutely believe in keeping the markets open, okay? Americans need to know they have access to their money. After September 11th, the only reason why the markets were closed was because the technology was disrupted. I've been on the phone with the major banks, with the New York Stock Exchange. Everybody wants to keep it open. We may get to a point where we shorten the hours if that's something they need to do, but Americans should know that we are going to do everything to make sure that they have access to their money at their banks, to the money in their 401ks, and to the money in stocks. So I want to just be very clear. We intend to keep the markets open.
And the banks are record-setting strong. So we have that, which is a much different event than what we had not so long ago. John, go ahead.
Mr. President, you mentioned the Army Corps of Engineers. I know that you've had a conversation with Governor Cuomo. He believes that New York is going to run out of hospital beds. Are you prepared to mobilize the Army Corps
we've been asked to
increase capacity?
Yes, we're starting to. We're starting the process, and it's a process. We hope it's not going to be necessary, but it could be necessary. The state is working on it very hard themselves, but we'll probably supplement what they're doing.
And given that many of the precursors for our pharmaceuticals come from China, and there have been supply disruption, that supply chain has been broken to some degree. Do you expect that we could run into a shortage of prescription drugs?
No, I don't see that at all, and I think China has every incentive to make sure that things work well. China wants to make sure that things work very well. They have every incentive to do so. John?
Mr. President, the governor of Ohio has called off the election that was supposed to happen today, the primary election. Do you agree with that decision? And what steps are you taking to ensure that elections going forward, if this pandemic continues, that elections will be able to happen, including, of course, the big one in the fall?
Well, the governor of Ohio is doing a great job. He called that off, and we'll see what happens. There's a court case, and it hasn't been fully determined yet. But if he called it off, I could understand that because, he's definitely somebody that knows what he's doing. We'll be seeing what very soon. They're going by the rule of 10 as opposed to 50, and that's pretty tough. I would say probably you could violate that if you wanted to for an election. I just think an election is a very special thing. He chose a different date, I think a date sometime in June. But that would be a decision that would be made by him. He felt it was necessary. The courts somebody's challenging it, so the courts will ultimately decide.
Well, what are you doing to ensure that further elections, if we're still in this situation a month from now, 2 months from now?
What I'm doing, John, is very simple. We're getting rid of this virus. That's what we're doing. That's the best thing we can do. By the way, for the markets, for everything, it's very simple solution. We want to get rid of it. We want to have as few deaths as possible. This is a horrible thing. You look at what's going on with Italy. We don't want to be in a position like that, but a much larger, because we're a much larger country. We don't want to be there. And I think we've done really well. I think we've done well. I think the states have done well. We're all working together. The best thing we can do is get rid of the virus. Once that's gone, it's going to pop back like nobody's ever seen before. That's my opinion, but I think it'll pop back like nobody's ever seen before. Please.
Just to follow up on John's question, specifically, how many new hospital facilities could the Army Corps of Engineers build? And also, what specific measures are you taking to try to increase the number of ventilators in the stockpile?
Right. We've ordered massive numbers of ventilators. We have, by any normal standards, we have a lot of respirators, ventilators. We have tremendous amounts of equipment, but compared to what we're talking about here, this has never been done before. And yesterday I gave the governors the right to go order directly if they want, if they feel they can do it faster than going through the federal government. Now, we've knocked out all of the bureaucracy. It's very direct, but it's still always faster to order directly. And I gave them, that was totally misinterpreted by the New York Times on purpose, unfortunately. But it's very important. Yes, Mike.
I could amplify.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you. Our president directed us to work with the Department of Defense. There's two ways that DoD can be helpful in terms of expanding medical capacity. I know the governor of New York has asked us to look at the Army Corps of Engineers, which could perhaps renovate existing buildings. But the president also has us inventorying what you all would understand as field hospitals or MASH hospitals that can be deployed very quickly. We spoke with Governor Inslee yesterday in Washington State. We have resources in that part of the country that we could move. And as governors make these requests, we will process them, bring them to the president. But there are two different lanes that DoD can provide, in addition to many medical supplies to augment our national reserves. And the president has tasked us to evaluate, make available, and to consider every request from governors for either field hospitals, expanding facilities, or the Army Corps of Engineers that could retrofit existing buildings.
The Army Corps is very prepared to do, as we say, and we're looking at where it's going. But and they do call them MASH hospitals, but the field hospitals go up very quickly. We have them. We have all of this equipment in stock, and we're looking at different sites in a few different locations. And we're not going to need them in West Virginia, where so far I guess they have none. Still none, right? West Virginia. Big Jim, the governor's, he must be doing a good job.
Or is that just reported?
That's what's reported.
No, but is that a reporting issue, or is that they have no cases?
Well, that's all that I just see. West Virginia is the only one that has no cases. So obviously that's being treated differently than in New York or California, different parts of California. I do say this, though, the Army Corps of Engineers is ready, willing, and able. We have to give them the go-ahead if we find that it's going to be necessary. We think we can have quite a few units up very rapidly. I'm going to work with Governor Cuomo. I'm going to work with a number of the governors. Governor Newsom has been very generous in his words, and I'm being generous to him too, because we're all working together very well. And I think a lot of very positive things have taken place. We're talking to California about different sites, but we can have a lot of units up fairly quickly if we think we need them. I think what I'll do is I might ask Seema to say a few words on the telehealth, and then we can get back to this, please. Seema?
Thank you, Mr. President. And as the president announced earlier, we are doing a dramatic expansion of what's known as telehealth for our 62 million Medicare beneficiaries who are amongst the most vulnerable to the coronavirus. And we're acting in accord with the appropriations bill that was signed on March 6th, as well as the president's emergency declaration last week. And this action is a part of our broader effort to ensure that government requirements, rules, and regulations don't get in the way of patient care during an emergency. And today's announcement builds on the significant progress that the president has already made over the past 3 years around telehealth services. And while we have allowed for virtual check-ins, full telehealth benefits have been restricted to those living in rural areas, established patients, and just for those brief visits. But no longer, Medicare beneficiaries across the nation, no matter where they live, will now be able to receive a wide range of services via telehealth without ever having to leave.
Ayan mga kaibigan, yung press conference ng White House. Anyway, yan, good news sa mga Americans. Papadalan sila ng $1,000 at maghanap sila ng way kung paano mas mapabilis. At yung mga bibigyan, of course, yung mga taong hindi gumagawa ng millions. Of course naman. Huwag naman mag-expect yung mga tao. Papatusin pa ba yan ng mga yung $1,000 na yan? Ayan. Sana na dito sa Canada, ganun na rin gawin ng Prime Minister. Ipadala na lang yung tulong sa mga tao. Tingnan natin yung update bukas. Baka sakasakali. Ayan, Andres. May $1,000 ka na. Uy, nadidinig ko yung boses ko din. Nag-iiko ako. Joke. Yung kumakabit ng 19, meron din makukuha. Hoy! Sana nga, no? Sana. Sana naman, matulungan talaga. 2,000 kasama bus, bahay. Kasama bus sa bahay. 2,000. Dalawa ba papadalan mo o one family lang? Ano yun? Per family? O nga no, hindi na specific, no? Hindi naman naitanong kung per family ba yung papadalan o per employee. O, kasi kung per employee, edi, sana pati ako, kuya. O lahat lahat daw ng US citizen yata at residents ng US. Si Wang. Ikaw pala yan, Wang. Nandiyan ka pala, Wang. Kumusta, Wang? Per person. Oy, per person pala padalhan. So, yung sobra address, padala mo na sa akin. Sana ako din, no? Sana kami bigyan din kami dito. Nako, joke lang. Alam naman natin gagawa talaga ng paraan ng gobyerno para mapabuti po ang ekonomiya kasi dami nagsara Kasi sigurado babagsak ang walang buying capacity ang mga tao, babagsak talaga ang ekonomiya. Bagsak din lahat bagsak. Ito, mga payo. Mga lugar sa loob ng bahay na pwedeng pasyalan daw. Nako, Diyos ko Lord. Ito sabi, mga lugar sa loob ng bahay na pwedeng pasyalan. Yung Banyo City daw. Grabe, yung Banyo, naging city na. Kwarto Prinsesa. Sala Union. Rice Terraces. North Kusina. At Lutuan City. Yun. Wala pang sana ganun din dito sa amin, kaso wala. O yun na nga Sana ganun ang lahat ng bansa, mga kaibigan, na sa Pilipinas kaya mangyayari yun. Do you think mangyayari sa Pilipinas yan? Palagay ko mahirapan. Mahirapan ang Pilipinas kasi sa dami ba namang Pinoy? Nako. Oh lala. Sana sa Pinas mamimigay ng 500 pesos. Oo. Sana ngayon yung mga politician, yung mga politiko na mahilig mamigay, sa ngayon sila mamigay. Di ba? Total, namimigay naman yung, ibigay na yung mga kinurakot ninyo. Yung mga ninakaw. Naman, word ninakaw na naman. Yung mga kinurakot ninyo, ibigay nyo na. Kayo naman talaga, oo. Pag hindi niyo binigay yan, kayo din. O, ibigay nyo na. Ibigay nyo na. Ang gusto ko. Basta ako, dito lang ako sa Wala po akong income ngayon. Kasi hindi naman ako makalabas ng basta-basta. Kailangan ko pag lumabas, walang makakita sa akin. Kasi pag nakita ako, baka madampot ako. Kasi dapat hindi maglabas-labas. Gusto ko sana pumunta sa airport ngayon, mga kaibigan. Pagkatapos nitong aking live streaming, para makita ko naman kung anong sitwasyon sa airport ngayon. Kasi may nakita po akong video kahapon na chaotic talaga. Sana nga. Dapat bagyan sila bawat pamilya. Yan nauna ng Amerika. Ang United States of America, papadalhan na po ang mga tao. Lalo na yung mga naapektuhan naapektuhan sa sa corona, yung mga nag-shutdown. Pwede namang lumabas, kuya. Pwede naman talaga lumabas. Kung nagkataon sa election, babaha ang pera galing sa politika. Balik din sa gobyerno, pambayad, utilities, bahay, etc. Oo nga eh. Balik din. Parang ano lang eh. Pero at least nag-import talaga ang itong gobyerno ni President Donald Trump. At yung mga galit kay Trump, wag na bigyan. Ganun na sana, no? Total, galit ka naman eh. Ngayon, tontuwa ka dahil mabibigyan ka. Di ba? Tingnan natin kung gaano ang tao ngayon. Paninindigan niya. Balik ko yung 1,000. Kung hindi, bigyan niya sa akin. Tingnan natin ngayon. Kasi daming galit eh. Pero at least maganda yung naisipan nila. Yan, padala nila lang. Ano ba tawag ito? Sana dito sa Canada, sana madidig ng Prime Minister ito. Sana yung mga pinaplano nila. Ang Quebec ay nagpaplano magpapadala ng weekly daw. Ng 500 weekly. 537 yung sinabi ni Lagot, ni Ligo. 537. Sana ipadala na yan through Interact. Diretso sa account na lang. Wag nang kung gusto talagang tumulong ng gobyerno, ay sige, ganun na gawin nyo. Yung walang account, walang matatanggap. Kawawa ako, wala akong account. Basta kung makatanggap kayo, bigyan nyo na lang ako kahit $10, okay na ako dun. Oo. Hindi, pwede na gawin niya, pwede na gawin niya Interact. Kakaiyak ang Pilipinas, mga mayayaman, nagtatago na. O yun nga, sana nga, sos, Ginoo ko, mga, ay nako, Diyos ko Lord, ay wag na lang, makakasala na naman tayo nito. Ayoko. Talaga naman, oo. Ang mga mayayaman, nagtatago na, ipadala through direct deposit. Ganun ba? Sige. Sana nga. Ay, nako. At least, 537 ka sa isang linggo. Pwede mo nang tipirin yan. Huwag ipang shopping, Baka magsa-shopping na naman. Ibili ng mga basic commodities na kailangan. Huwag mag-hoarding. Yung kailangan lang. Kung ako, hindi ako makakatanggap, bigyan na lang ako $10. Marami naman kayo eh. O mga isang libo na tagti $10, meron akong 10,000. Mas malaki pa pera ko sa inyo. Joke. Para sa 573, kuya, nabasa ko rin pero hindi ko maintindihan. Yun na nga eh. Wala pa silang guidelines na nilalabas. Kung paano i-avail yung 573 pala, 573 per week. O until Oo, kuya, totoo daw. Hala ko, hindi na totoo yan, Helen, kasi may daw eh. Pag daw kasi, delikado eh. Oo, di ba? Nako, Diyos ko, Lord. Kayo, okay ba sa inyo yan? Okay ba sa inyo na padala na lang kayo ng 573? Yung may mga kaya naman, wag na kayong ilabas din na muna yung mga savings ninyo. Sa amin na lang muna yan na walang mga savings. Sa amin na lang muna yan yung mga sa mga medyo maliliit ang kinikita. Wag na muna wag na muna kayo sumali. Joke. Marami magagalit ito. Oy, baka gusto niyo umakyat dito. Mag-extend tayo ng konti. Gusto niyo ibahagi kung nararamdaman ninyo ngayon. Oo. Ano ba ngayon? Tuesday? O nga pala, Tuesday pala ngayon. Tuesday. Dapat St. Patrick Day ngayon eh. Yung nga lang, na-postpone lahat ng mga events. Ang event. Pag may makatanggap ako, ipamigay ko sa FB friend ko nasa Pinas. Pag may matatanggap ako, ipamigay ko sa FB friend ko sa Pinas na nasa Pinas. Ako kailan di ba ako bibigyan? Oh, yung kalahati, bigay mo sa akin. Yung kalahati, bigay mo sa Pilipinas. Joke. Ay, nako. Diyos ko, Lord. Pineapple bayan. Wala, papatawa na lang tayo mga kaibigan. Hindi na tayo kailangan magseryoso ngayon Seryoso natin yung virus, pero yung sitwasyon, wag na muna natin masyadong kasi baka maburyong lang tayo, baka ma-stress. Kaya, relax lang. Chill up. Chill up lang mga kapatid. Sana kung totoo, direct deposit na nila sa account. Yun na nga Sana. Pagdasal natin. By the way, magbantay naman kayo kasi, nako, Diyos ko Lord. Kumandar na naman talaga ang pagkaano ng Pilipino, no? Kumbaga, sakay sa panahon ba? Galing talaga. Be productive and mind your own business. We're all human, just in case you forgot. Oo nga naman, no? Oo. Tama ito sabi, Be productive and mind your own business. We're all human, just in case you forgot. Uy, ano kaya tayo ito, no? Bumili na kaya tayo nitong ay, mahal naman. Ako, Diyos ko Lord, wag na. Nagmahala naman tong mga gadget na to. Pang ng lagnat. Pagdala ka tapos pag salubong may masalubong ako, chok! Ay, ito Mr. Henry Ramos, kumusta? Anong balita dyan, Henry? Sana nga, no? Sana all. Ayaw pumasok. Aray ka, Diyos ka, Lord. Sana all daw. Oras natin, alas 11. Alas 11 tuloy. Alas 12:27 ng tanghalian na. Yung mga hindi pa kumakain, kumain na kayo. Pagtanggap ko emergency money, mayroon akong pangkabit 20 na. Sana all may 1,000 daw. Basta ako, kung anong meron ako dito, yun ang until mag-survive. Until mag-surpass itong na to, virus na to. Isa lang ang panalangin ko na uminit na ng uminit. Pwede pa lang ipo-fast forward na mag-summer na. Para matapos na to. Init lang katapat nito. Basta sa Pilipinas, alert level code red, level 2 pa rin. Ang confirm na may kasong corona, 187. Ang mga PUI ay 259. Ang PUMs ay 2,443. Apat pala po naka-recover nito. At ang patay po ay 14 na. Confirm. Doon po sa Pilipinas yan. Dito sa Canada, mga kaibigan, nasa 304 na po ang kaso. January pa kami nasa bahay lang, lalabas lang pag may bibilhin, pagod na sa kakaikot sa loob ng bahay. Ganun ba? O mag-Facebook na lang. O di ba, makipagkwentuhan na lang sa pamilya sa Pilipinas. Ay ito, Miss Michelle Galupo Magalso. Wag naman sanang mga taga-Pilipinas na magkakausap ka, pwedeng baka meron ka dyan. Patay na. Wala mo na sanang ganun, ha? O kasi hindi nga hindi nga nasa nga tayo ngayon, sitwasyon nga tayo na medyo talagang kumbaga ay medyo critical, ika nga. Di pa rin tapos yung nila. Grabe, no? Pati si Trudeau, sa na pala to. Sa na pala, sa health minister na pala. Ito na pala, 400 na pala. Grabe, ang bilis. As of this morning pala to, mga kaibigan. 449 na pala ang Canada. Diyos ko, Lord. Hindi ko pala na-click yung update ko kasi ito naman kasing ito naman kasing Public Health Services ng Canada ang bagal magbigay ng ng update. Wala yatang nagtatrabaho. Ano ba ginagawa nitong taga-update nitong Ayun, 400, may bagong isang patay. Sus, Ginoo ko, Diyos ko, Lord. Ito, pakinggan muna natin ito. Nag-question and answer man siguro to sila. Sa Canada po, mga kaibigan, as of now, 449 ang total case na na apektado. At mayroong isang bagong patay. So, meaning may 8 na pong patay. 5 ang patay sa Canada. At ang naka-recover nito ay 49 na naka-recover 11 na. So mayroon pa isang critical. Yan po ang Canada, mga kaibigan, ha. Nasko, Diyos ko, Lord. Kaya pakinggan natin tong tuloy pa rin na press conference ng takot ako sa COVID pero mas takot ako sa Pinas. Pagkausap mo sila. Ako naman, ito keep working ka sa hospital ako. Work, ingat ka na lang, DJ. Oy, ingat dyan sa ingat yung mga nagtatrabaho sa hospital, ha. Yung mga nagkikare sa yung mga caregivers natin, nurses, doctors, ingat po. Grabe yung presko nila, hanggang ngayon, di pa rin tapos. Measures taken as soon as possible to lower rate of infection so the virus spread out over time and does not. Okay. Just Lord. Dire sa Korea, 8,300 na ng cases. Pero okay lang yan, Jeng, kasi at least safe pa rin kayo dyan, ha. Basta, palo lang. Obey lang tayo sa kung ano man yung instruction ng gobyerno sa atin, ay sundin na natin. Huwag na tayong magmatigas-tigas sa ulo kasi yung iba, ang tigas talaga ng ulo, eh. Ay, stay at home na lang muna tayo. Obey. Again, ako po ay pansamantalang magpapaalam na, mga kaibigan. At kayo po ay nakikinig sa Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal. Abangan lang po ang mga update doon sa mga right source lang talaga, mga kaibigan. Huwag na po kayo doon sa yung mga sinishare lang. Oo. Share lang na basta lang basta lang sila ano tawag ito? Basta lang sila viral. Wala silang pakialam kung totoo man o hindi. Huwag niyo nang basta-basta ipasa yung mga pinapasa sa inyo. Siguraduhin niyo munang totoo yan, ha? Kung hindi, wag na ipasa. Para kung ano man. Anyway. Ako po ay pansamantalang magpapaalam na. Hi to PH Derway. Salamat PH Derway. Thank you for coming. Kaso lang, magpapaalam na ako. Babaya na ako, babalik. Manggugulo ako mamaya sa YouTube. Joke. Di, magpapaalam na po ako mga kapatid. Kita-kits na lang tayo. At salamat po sa lahat. Thank you. Salamat nga pala sa ating mga kaibigan. Thank you so much. Pasa lang para may upload ako. Kumusta na sa inyo? Stay safe. Nakikiramay pa kami dito sa garage. Bonnie may ulila na positive. Uy, nako. Dumating lang ako. Nag-stop ka na. Hindi naman. Para naman akong nitong virus. Hindi. Kataon lang talaga, PH Norway. Patapos na ako. Andre, ano yan? Kumusta na? Stay safe. Nakikiramay po kami dito sa garage, Henry and Bonnie, sa mga naulila at mga positive pre-love. Akala ko ano. Sige, tulog na Jing, good night sa'yo dyan. Good night. Huwag masyadong magpuyat din kasi hindi maganda magpuyat, ha? So, ingat kayo dyan. Basta mamaya, abangan niyo po ako. Baka makapag-live ako doon sa airport. Mapunta pa ako sa airport ngayon. Hindi para sumakay. Hindi ako uwi. Ano ba? Si Magawata. Titingnan ko kung ano yung doon, sitwasyon. Ano ka ba? Grab! Ha? Hindi, pwede pumunta sa airport. Pwede nung pumunta sa airport. Magtitingin na. Paghingi lang akong update doon kung anong nangyari. Wala nga makakapunta sa airport eh. Titingnan ko talaga kung anong meron. Kung pwede lang titingnan ko. Magtatanong pa naman ako. Bago ako pumunta doon, magtatanong pa ako kung pwede pumunta sa airport. Pwede naman siguro, hindi naman siguro bawal. Wala naman bawal siguro. Ma-investigate. Tinakot talaga ako. Gusto ko daw ma-investigate. Sige na. Baka ma-investigate pa ako. Basta mga kaibigan, importante lang. Keep on praying. Hold on sa mga promises niya. Wag na masyadong kung hindi mo kayang tawag dito. Hindi mo kaya yung mga balita, wag ka na manood ng balita para hindi ka ma-diskarel. Ikaw at ako. Kasi baka ma-diskarel ka pa ay hindi mo makayanan yung mga nababasa mo, nadidinig mo. So, much better. Mag-music ka na lang. Makinig ka na lang ng musika.
Because I love my country and I love the people.
Ito nga, Treasury Secretary Muchin want to send cash to America within next 2 weeks. We're looking and sending checks to Americans immediately. Ito na nga yung kanina. Mas worse pa daw to sa 9/11. Itong corona virus na to. Yan, Ontario Health Minister confirm first corona-related death in province. Nako, ito pala yung bagong patay sa Canada. Sa Toronto pala ito. Ontario. Wala naman sinabing Toronto. Ontario pala. Jesus ko, Lord. Basta wag lang masyadong kahit alam naman natin talaga na medyo delikado po itong virus na to. Pero kailangan natin seryosohin, pero masyadong ma-stress. Relax lang, relax. Stay at home. Huwag ka na lumabas. Kung pwede. Kung kayang huwag lumabas, huwag nang lumabas, ha? Stay at home and pray. Again, magpapaalam na po ako, ang inyong lingkod, si DJ Hughie. Ito po ang Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal, ang tahanan ng OPM, Original Filipino Music. At tuloy pa rin kaming magpapatugtog ng mga awiting Pilipino. 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Para naman po maibsan-ibsan po ang ating mga nararamdaman sa pamamagitan ng mga awiting Pilipino na pinapatugtog namin dito. Bel Ramos, keep safe po sa atin lahat. Yan, ingat po kayo dyan. Again, bye-bye for now. Ito po ang inyong lingkod na si DJ Hughie. Bye-bye for now. God bless.
Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat na mapigilan. Tayo na Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawag kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat